I'll bet you $5,000 you've played one of the games I'm about to list. Among Us, Project Winter, that one Jackbox game where you're like in space or something, Mafia, the OG, Lockdown Protocol, the new Death Note one that's like, you know, mad good and I've been playing it a lot. So now that you've given me $5,000, let's get into why you clicked this video. If you're anything like me, you know that some people are cracked at these games. And if you're really like me, then you'd be one of those people, cause I'm himothy at these games. You may not believe it, but I have the secret to consistently beating all your friends in all these games. But I can already hear what you're thinking. Karii, I don't think you can get good at these games. Or, Karii, you don't know my friends. They know when I'm lying. Or, Karii, I don't know any friends. Well, I can help you with the first two. That third one, you're out of luck. But speaking of luck, if you stick around, I can prove to you that these games are actually not based on luck, but rather skill. And it's really easy to skill diff your friends simply by knowing a few concepts that translate to every single game in the genre. If you're ready to learn these secrets, then let's find out how you can consistently win no matter which social deduction game you're playing. Let's get into it. Alright, before that, we're gonna play a game of rock, paper, scissors. I know you're leaning on your arm right now, but I need you to stick your hand out and get ready. By the way, I say rock, paper, scissors, shoot. If you say any other way, you're tweaking. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Just remember this result. Okay, back to the video. This might sound silly, but I promise hearing this is important. You have to know how the game and its mechanics work. We're gonna look at how some of the greatest social deduction players like Disguised Toast, Hafu, the guy that made Calc's Plan, use this to their advantage to end up with their godlike reputation. When you're trying out one of these games for the first time, chances are you're playing it with other friends who are also new to the game, or you're playing a game that came out recently like Lockdown Protocol or the Death Note game, where because the game is new, most people don't know what they're doing. There's two main points here that will get you ahead of the curve and keep you there. One, taking in content to learn about the game, and two, not relying on others' ignorance of how the game works. Look, I'm not telling you to secretly practice on your own time so that you can be that one guy who researches Mario Kart shortcuts, then invites his friends over and boots up Rainbow Road. We all know that guy, and we all know that that would be the secret to killing the fun if you're playing with friends. I'm actually almost telling you to do the opposite. Most of these games don't have game-defining knowledge like a hidden shortcut, so you wouldn't really be able to do that anyway, but you can still better your understanding of the game mechanics so that you can make the best deductions with sound logic as crewmate and make perfect plays, lies, and excuses as impostor. By the way, I'm just going to refer to the good team as crewmate and the bad team as impostor for most of the video. We've all played Among Us. You still owe me that $5,000. Let's take a look at the greatest Among Us impostor game ever. Toast's most viewed video showing a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. We're going to see how he makes the perfect play in the second round to kill Valkyrie with everyone else right in front of him and gets away with it. We can see here that Hafu sabotaged the lights, which I'm sure you already know, but if you don't, this essentially means that everyone in the game can't see anything but a small radius around them, except for the imposters. You might think that's it, and it's pretty straightforward in why Toast chooses to kill here, but there's actually more to it than that. Think about how fixing the lights looks from the crewmate's perspective. When you interact with the lights to fix them, it opens a huge ass window on your screen. So Masayoshi for a fact is completely ignorant to what Toast is doing at the time, and Fuslie and Scissors are, alright, I had to do it, in the dark about what happened when Toast double backed. So how does not relying on others' ignorance play a part in this? Remember when I said we're watching from the second round? So you might think this is where the action starts because he gets his first kill here, and you'd be partially right. This kill is great, don't get me wrong, but even though Fuslie and Scissors didn't see the kill, both of them saw Toast go back to the hallway, which could seem suspicious because there was no dead body there on their way in. But there's something crazy that Toast did in the first round that we completely missed. Now I'm just warning you, do not blink or else you'll miss this insane play. Ready? Don't tell me I know, that shit was crazy. Except he didn't do shit is what it looks like. But this is actually the greatest example of why you need to play in a way that doesn't just rely on other people not understanding the game. Think about it this way. Fuslie and Scissors saw Toast go back, and Masayoshi can only logically trust the testimonies of Fuslie and Scissors about it because he didn't actually see it. And Toast would clearly lie to defend himself if accused. Fuslie has every reason to suspect Toast here, but because of everything that Toast did in the first round, Scissors doesn't. Toast spent the entire round with Scissors to make him think that he was innocent to get a vouch from him later when something like this happens. Obviously, if Scissors sees Toast kill someone, this vouch is out the window, it's done for. But something like this, where it's just he says, she says 50-50, he's gonna trust Toast. If Toast just depended on the fact that they didn't see it or that they didn't understand how the light sabotage works, then they probably would have both been open with their suspicion of Toast, and he would have gotten voted out for this play. But because Toast knows Masayoshi didn't see it at all, and got Scissors to believe he was innocent, the only person here to make an accusation against Toast here is Fuslie, and she's not even sure of it. Toast set himself up in a way where even if Fuslie understood that this walk back into the hallway was probably just Toast killing Valkyrie, if she tried to put suspicion on him here, it would just backfire on her because there's no one there to vouch for her either.
I think it's her, dude.
It's
I don't know.
not me. Guys.
That was the fourth person.
Leslie, where'd you go when the lights went off? Though?
I went 2 lights. I was one of the first people to light.
Wait.
No, I'm
I'd
voting
like to
Leslie.
throw sus on Toast and Scissors
Oh, we're
just
voting
because
Leslie?
they're continually.
No, Toast. Let's just follow Fuslie around. Let's just
Okay,
Follow me
Yeah,
around.
just
Follow me
follow
around.
Leslie around. That's a good idea.
This is just the surface level, and of course there's mind games to be played with in almost everything that I mentioned. So next we're gonna look more at the social side of the social deduction game. Okay, remember how we played rock, paper, scissors before? We're running it back. Get ready. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Remember this. Okay, so when you're playing these games, you obviously can't just depend on what you see or what you hear because it is by design that you can't figure everything out with just facts and logic. No Ben Shapiro shit over here. You have to be able to read and understand the way that your friends behave when they're playing and find patterns in what they repeat. Right now, I want you to think about the friends that you play this game with. Think about someone who is horrible at lying, or maybe just terrible at games to begin with. Think about the person in your group that you would depend on to talk to the police if you guys were arrested. Or if you're like me, you wouldn't trust a soul in your group to do that. If you can't even categorize your friends as having certain personality traits, then you're already behind. When you can piece together how your friends play, it can manifest into making informed decisions when you're doing things like choosing who you're going to vote off or kill early because they're too good at the game. Purposefully leaving someone last alive because you know they can't follow logic and will probably hoe the shit out of the crewmates. Keeping a close eye on the loud person in your group when they're surprisingly a little quiet throughout the game. We're all humans. It's insanely hard for us to keep up lies, and pretty much everyone you'll be playing with will have some sort of tell that they're on one team or the other. If you don't know what a tell is, it's essentially something that a person does or doesn't do that gives a clue or completely reveals the team that they're on. Let's look at an example. Here's friend A. He's a crewmate. He smashed the like button and subscribed and hit the notification bell so he has plot armor, yada yada. Here's friend B. He's an imposter and he usually likes to take control of the conversations and accuse people early. Friend A is sitting in the first round's meeting listening to people talk, when eventually he realizes he's not hearing too much from friend B and gets an idea. While everyone is talking about what's going on and giving light accusations to some of the other friends, friend A notices that friend B didn't talk once. Friend A doesn't have to share this yet, as it can put a target on his head for the imposters to get rid of him. But by noticing that friend B is not behaving as he usually does, he has an upper hand in interpreting future incidents and weigh friend B heavier in deciding 50-50 situations, like when someone accuses friend B and friend B accuses them back. Keep in mind, a lot of people play like, or at least have similar logic to, friend B, whether they know it or not. Subconsciously, you are naturally going to be afraid of suspicion and try to overcompensate for it by changing your behavior, which you can take advantage of by noticing differences in how your friends play across different rounds. But mind you, this can be used against you in the form of a little something called conditioning. No div. If you've ever played a fighting game or any other game with a rock, paper, scissors mind game element to it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It essentially comes from the behavioral psychology theory where one observes a pattern in behavior, then with reinforcement learns or is almost trained to have a response to that behavior. In simple terms, I do same thing a lot of time. You react certain way a lot of time. You need to be aware of this when reading people's behaviors, because they can positively reinforce your brain to think something like, okay, when he's being quiet, he's the imposter. And over the course of a few games of you winning with that strategy, they can adapt and use that against you, like being quiet when they're innocent to throw you off or simply not being as quiet when they're imposter. Luckily for you, you can use this against them too. And something important to consider is that the more you condition someone to believe that their response will result in something, the more powerful you become because you're more likely to force them to respond the wrong way when you finally switch it up on them. This is where the rock, paper, scissors comes in. If you keep doing the same thing, you can make people believe that is your tell. Then take advantage whenever you want it to pay off. Speaking of rock, paper, scissors, we're gonna play again. If you beat me this time, you won't have to owe me the 5,000 anymore. Trust, I did not forget. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Alright, last chapter. You probably looked at the thumbnail and are thinking, how does this RPG looking class stat system work into everything we've learned so far? Well, do you remember when I mentioned that you can take advantage of someone behaving differently when they're imposter? That's very important because if we flip that around, we can prevent you from being taken advantage of in the same exact way. You need to not only seem to behave the same regardless of what team you're on, but you need to be yourself. The only playstyle you need to rely on is the one that is uniquely yours, in the sense that you need to appear as the real you, regardless of whether or not you're the imposter. Reflect on not only how you are inside, but how the people you play with perceive you to be, and keep that in mind. Now, this is obviously easier said than done for some people and doesn't even mean being able to do it alone will win you games, because there's actually going to be inherent disadvantages with any playstyle you find, much like an RPG class. This is because any advantage your playstyle brings for one team can, and most times will, serve as a disadvantage when you're on the other team. To maximize your success with a playstyle, you need to acknowledge your disadvantages and play into your advantages as much as possible. This also needs to be combined with the conditioning I explained before, which in this case is reinforcing a consistent playstyle that they're used to, then punishing them for reacting to it by cashing in on the advantages that benefit the team that you're on, or even deviating from your playstyle occasionally. It'll all make sense with a few examples of playstyles. Let me know in the comments which one you are. The idiot. You are unpredictable. To your group, you don't always play too seriously, and you don't even mind people believing you're the imposter. If you play like this, your advantages lie in doing things that seem like something an imposter would do, and conditioning your group to not take your imposter behavior seriously, which lets you get away with stupid when you're actually the imposter. This is obviously a disadvantage when your team doesn't understand how you play, or they feel like calling your bluff, and it makes you a worse teammate when you're crewmate, especially when you take it too far. The detective. You are the opposite of the idiot. You're highly logical. To your group, you are the person who is super convincing by giving information and making genius deductions. If you play like this, your advantages lie in being able to make people believe you by articulating your wisdom and calling out others' inconsistencies, which make you an amazing crewmate. Your disadvantage lies in the fact that it's really hard to not be an obvious imposter when you have that much value as a crewmate. You have to be an insanely good liar to not instantly stand out as acting different. If you could pull it off, people will trust you even when you're blatantly lying, but others may never fully trust you because they know what you're capable of. The controller. This is more of a subclass because any playstyle can include this, but you like to keep control of the conversation. Depending on how you control the conversation, the group will either not mind you or despise you. Even when something has nothing to do with you, you will find a way to be involved or find a way to influence the narrative. Your advantage lies in being able to keep the conversation relevant as crewmate and waste meeting time as imposter, but your disadvantage obviously lies on whether or not you can switch between either of these advantages without your group noticing. Or your group might just tell you to shut the fuck up. The shadow. You don't speak unless spoken to. Your group might not even notice you didn't speak the first round or two. If you play like this, your advantages and disadvantages are pretty similar to the idiot because by giving less information, you are a worse teammate for the crewmates, but you can get away with not sharing unnecessary details as imposter, and people may not suspect you off of being quiet alone if you're always like that. These are just a few examples, and now we're going to get into some live demonstrations from my stream. If you like what you see, follow my Twitch or join my Discord server and stop by when I'm live.
I'm gonna go ahead and start it now.
Alright, so here's me playing Death Note Killer Within with my friends on stream. They're suspicious of me, but I'm able to get people off of me by sounding super logical because when I'm investigator, my logic consistently leads to finding Kira. When I'm Kira though, I like to lie by omission and doublespeak, such as saying things that are technically true, but leading the listener to taking the wrong message from it. Just as a disclaimer, what I did here is very risky because it's actually the job of the Kira follower to take blame for the main Kira, but I gambled to move the suspicion away from both of us, and it paid off.
On the top,
I
on the
was
left.
following around Femboy a little bit. I don't know if he's like big brain.
Death Note. Anyone with a Death Note could have killed him.
Wait, can I explain myself to L? Because I was towards the top. Annie saw me at the top. I was also with everyone else who was like towards the top left. Not the entire time, definitely not. Like everyone else was like way more on that area than I was. But I saw Annie. I was alone with Annie, and yeah, the only person that I didn't see that entire round for the most part was Sean. Like Sean was towards like the bottom of the map.
On the first day, who did Ahmad say he touched? Because I know he said he touched me when I had my ID stolen, but obviously thought
Femboy. He said Femboy.
He said
Femboy being
Femboy?
mad quiet. Yeah, Femboy and Josh.
No one touched me. I got my distance from everyone.
Okay, so I waffled my way out of that situation, but now things are bad because now my partner looks suspicious, and the game ends if they vote out the main Kira. So I need to sway the group to vote for someone else instead using my playstyle.
I low-key think it's Josh here. Because Josh is also the other person that he touched.
I am the only other person who touched it, but obviously.
But let me say something. Moon said Femboy and Josh. He said Femboy and Josh touched him first round, and he's dead now. So we should. It's either Femboy or Josh.
I think it's Josh.
Do it.
Let's decide on someone. Someone just pick it. Don't even votes. Ryan, pick D or whatever.
Well, see. I don't have shit on me.
I was able to get people to trust my word in a 50-50 so that I could save my partner and therefore the game. But you might be thinking, wow, Karii, good job winning a 50-50 one time. And I don't blame you for thinking that, but look at who's already dead. Moon. And how did he get voted out?
Wait, Moon, you don't have your ID. Who do you have in your notebook?
In my notebook, it's Femboy and Joshy.
Okay, because I also have my ID stolen.
Wait, but that's not true. Wait, no, that's not true because I literally touched Ahmad and I don't have my ID.
Yeah, but we were in a group, Justin. We were in a group of people. I gave you that package. You got the package.
No, but I touched you for real. I only touched you.
Yeah, but we were in a group of people, and I had to touch you to give you the package.
Right,
Y'all dreaming. Y'all love to
And
vote.
Sean was super quick to. This is what I'm saying. I play such a good investigator game that Sean was so quick to agree with me because I said something and it sounded like I had logic.
I blatantly lied about Moon stealing my ID. And just being able to articulate myself better got the entire lobby to listen to me on an early round, which got us to the point that we were at afterwards. When you're such a good crewmate, it makes it hard for people to not trust you once you're finally imposter. You just have to be an equally good liar. And the rest of the game was history, by the way. With both imposters alive in the late game, it was a clean and easy sweep to secure the dub. And that's just one example of how you play into your personality. You just have to find a way to make it work for yours. Alright, one time for the road. Let's play one last game of rock, paper, scissors. Winner takes all. Are you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. If you understand why I did that, then you understand the biggest lesson I wanted to teach you. If you won, you can be just as good as me. If you lost, you might have to watch the video again. And like, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch, and go to my Discord server, and watch all the ads again. Watch all that. Wait, I'm not done.
Karii.